like here, there's a whole lot of stuff that we can go through, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to freestyle it, and if you guys are interested in something, then stop me and say, hey, man, what do you mean by that? Or you know, if we want to go more into one subject or another, keeps it nice and dynamic, fluid. I guess the main thing to get from it that I'd like to try and impart to you guys, at least if you're representing the wines, is that the relationship that our family have with our piece of land. That's really the most essential part for me. We've been on it 100 years this year. My great-grandfather bought it in 1912, and my father, who grew up on the land, he started experimenting with vines in 1975, but then planted the first commercial block in 1982. And so we celebrate 30 years of wine growing as well on our land this year. And I've been home for 10 years as well, so 10 years since I got home from France, and so 10th vintage. There's a few things that we're celebrating this year, and really just all that to say is that it's the model that we've worked with is very much in function of us and working with the land, and the land working with our family to try and figure out what the potential of it is, and the potential of it is to grow vitis vinifera of different varieties in our land, and it's taken a long time. It's taken 30 years to do that. It's not something that we just came along and sort of bought a piece of land and planted, a couple of varieties in, and 3 years later, you've got a $40 Pinot Noir sitting on you.
What was on the land previous?
It was when my great-grandfather bought it. It was it's a high country run, so it was very, very isolated up in the end of this valley at the Upper Clutha Basin. This is kind of like a before-after shot here.
Yeah.
So this is the old man here staring over his piece of land that he'd grown up on, trying to figure out what he might plant, and this is kind of what it looks like today. And in fact, what it looks like right now, with the nets on. So he was like doing cattle, sheep, mixed crop, orchards, vegetables to feed all the staff. They're on it was 18,000 acres farm, so it was a big high country run.
Wow.
They had death duties back then, so when he passed away, it all went under the hammer, it all went to auction. But my grandmother, his daughter, was able to buy back a section at the auction.
Oh, wonderful.